Hi everyone, it's Comics Villain and welcome to The Backstory. In comics, just like in life, more often than not, you learn about the current life of the main character and later learn about their backstory. I wanted to get out there and show people a little bit about who the current line of indie content creators are, where they came from, and what lies ahead. In this series, I've contacted each creator to get specifics on themselves to share with you today. Alright, let's dive in. On this episode, we talk about Mike Murphy. Mike's a writer and artist from Portland, but originally came from Chicago where he studied at the American Academy of Art. You might know Mike from his current campaign called Samurai and Dinosaurs on Indiegogo, which is currently in demand. It has raised, as of this moment, $822 with 259 backers. You can catch Mike on Twitter as well as chibicomicspdx.tumblr.com as well as gamechronicles.com, where he's an editorial contributor. Mike talks about what got him into comics, and is something I can say is similar to how I got into comics as well. My dad, we didn't have the best relationship, but he was a big nerd, and it all transferred to me. Superman was the first thing I ever drew. Mike is basically saying that his dad is really what got him into comics. And honestly, I have the same kind of story. I think a lot of us do. You know, our parents get us into these things sometimes. Sometimes, you know, maybe they buy you your first comic or they had a comic collection themselves. My dad had a comic collection, so it really got me into it. Mike then goes a little more into detail about his love for comics. The first comics I read were Sword of the Atom 1 and Gumby's Summer Special. I think that's what helped to cement my love for superheroes, but also the indie offbeat stuff. I was a kid buying weird British and Japanese import comics from the dollar store, way before I should have been reading them. What I liked about comics is how cool they were, and how they felt like a secret. Back before the days of Hot Topic shirts and pop figures, most people didn't like comics, superheroes, RPGs, etc. I like the opportunities that come with our hobbies dominating pop culture. But that sense of being in on a secret is long gone. Mike has a great list of writers and artists that inspired him. He says, Grant Morrison is a huge influence. Darwin Cook, Kazuo Koike, Alex Robinson, Garth Ennis. Outside of comics, Christopher Nolan, Tarantino, Carpenter, Ridley Scott, and Scorsese. The directors he's mentioned are some of the most iconic and have had great movies that are well known. The Dark Knight was a masterpiece in my opinion. Mike was kind enough to share with me his story on what got him started in drawing, as well as writing. He talks about his early years with art and writing and where life took him. He states, pretty much my entire life, I can be very focused and decisive, and I knew from a young age I wanted to make comics. The heavier focus on writing when I realized I was faster and better at it, as opposed to art. I still draw, just not as often. My wife and I moved here to Portland in 2005. At the time, we went through a bunch of heavy stuff in Chicago and started a new life, and career was a necessity. I went to the American Academy of Art in Chicago. It's where Alex Ross and the Mortal Kombat guys studied, the Quaker Oats illustrator too. Oddly enough, they tried hard to keep students away from comics and commercial art. I think they wanted more fine arts and classic illustrators. Mike talks about his past work. He states, worked on lots over the years, but nothing that most people have ever seen. Just unsuccessful pitches to all the major players over the years. My wife and I do a kids book every year for FCBD. That's kind of our love letter to Bill Watterson. I work as a freelancer outside of comics, and I'm hoping the more of an audience we build, the less I'll have to rely on that stuff, as it's neither fun nor fulfilling most of the time. So to me, the best thing we're doing right now is to help others build up something that they can not only help to feed their family with, but also to build up a great story with many new arcs and characters. I mean, this really is my personal opinion. This is actually done with our support. This is done with our donations and our time. What we're doing here on like Twitter or YouTube. it's the kind of thing that's going to build up, help to build people's legacies. Many of our favorite writers and artists started somewhere, and they got somewhere thanks to their stories not only being interesting and fun, but also thanks to the many readers that supported those books. This is our chance right now to help create incredible futures for many artists and writers. One of my favorite parts of this series is asking about future projects of these creators. Mike says, "Our next project launches in August. It's called The Gods Fear Me and is a Lovecraftian take on a post-apocalyptic sci-fi. I can't wait to talk more about it once we start fulfilling Samurai and Dinosaurs." Lastly, Mike talks about his current project. He says, "Speaking of, Samurai and Dinosaurs is open until the first week of July. But we'd really like to hit 12,000 in funding by June 10th. That will unlock a pinup gallery, stretch goal, and we need to give the artists time to complete their work before we go to the press. I'll be promoting hard up until then." Alright, that's it for this episode of The Backstory. I hope you enjoyed hearing about Mike, and please look for his campaign Samurai and Dinosaurs out on Indiegogo. Let's support our indie creators. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. Help me reach that 1,000 subscriber milestone. Also, like, share, and comment on what you expect from Mike's new series, Samurai and Dinosaurs. To be honest, I'm hoping to see a T-Rex with a sword, if only for just one panel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Take care, and have a nice day.